now on 5 on your side at 10.
An ongoing problem.
It's like a racetrack. I almost hear cars speeding by every day, daily. I mean, it's ridiculous.
An exclusive look at the crash that put one construction worker in the hospital and left another dead. Parking problems plaguing the metro. Crooks scamming unsuspecting Cardinals fans. Tips to save you from getting a ticket. Breaking March Madness records.
What does it mean to Edwardsville? She's our hometown hero.
A look at the local player whose game reached millions.
But first, clear skies and light winds will make for a frosty start to the weekend. The Weather First weather alert that may have you out covering some of your plants before bed tonight.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kelly Jackson. Jack Frost is making a brief comeback tonight. We are in a weather alert as an unseasonal freeze makes its way through the bi-state by tomorrow morning. We have Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell with the first look at our weather forecast. And will the overnight frost throw a little wrench in our springtime gardening, Scott?
For most of us, no, but it's one of those things where, especially east of St. Louis, temperatures may flirt with freezing once again early tomorrow morning. We're nowhere close to that right now, but last night, similar situation in areas west of St. Louis dropped into the upper 20s, around 30. Even some parts of the metro saw some frost this morning. And now that the clouds are clearing up off to our east, we do expect to see some of those colder temperatures building in. So we have freeze warnings in effect for areas east of St. Louis and Illinois. 28, 29, 30 degrees along the Interstate 57 corridor, out Interstate 70. Get back into the metro area, probably not dropping below freezing, but we'll likely see temperatures that slide back into the mid-30s. And with the winds becoming light, that is enough to create frost for early tomorrow morning, which means if you have some tender plants, especially in those areas off to the east of St. Louis, say like hostas here, that have already come up and started budding out, you might want to cover those, especially if you've planted something recently. Mainly annuals and those summer vegetables, it's still a little early. We usually say wait till tax day, and if you really want to be safe, wait till Mother's Day. But if you do have something that's newly planted or that is susceptible to freeze damage, then you want to use some cloth, paper, or maybe some fabric to kind of cover that for the overnight hours, protect those plants. And then you could take that off tomorrow morning, and hopefully that'll be the last of it for this year. We'll talk more on the eclipse in a few minutes, Kelly.
All right, Scott. Tonight, a construction worker is dead. His co-worker is in the hospital. Police say both were hurt after a driver crashed into their work zone today in South St. Louis County. It happened this morning near the intersection of South Broadway and Ripa Avenue. Robert Townsend has exclusive details you will only see on 5 on your side, including an interview with the victim's boss.
Marvin Rudloff says around 9 Friday morning, his 6-member crew from Glenlow Awning and Window Company in Imperial was installing a new awning on this resale shop in South St. Louis County. He says 1 hour on the job, the unthinkable happened.
It would happen so fast.
Witnesses and neighbors say out of the blue, a driver in a light-colored Cadillac sped around this curve down South Broadway, left the road, and crashed into the workers.
It's devastating. We're a family business.
Rudloff says his 35-year-old employee, Chris Johnson, was handing his co-worker, Carl Cease, materials when Johnson got pinned under a truck and was killed. Johnson lived in House Springs and had a 7-year-old son.
All these guys are like brothers, all these 6 guys that work together every day, and now they're all missing their brother. 59-year-old
Carl Cease, a husband and grandfather from Arnold, suffered injuries when he flipped off a ladder.
They're awaiting MRI scan on him. He's got stitches on the back of his head. They're checking to see if he's had any broke ribs.
Witnesses told police the Cadillac driver may have been drag racing with a driver in a gray Acura before the deadly crash. There's a sign posted clearly showing the speed limit on Broadway is 40 miles an hour.
Like a racetrack. I almost hear cars speeding by every day.
Neighbor James Finkland says he shared this video of the speeding Cadillac and Acura with police.
I feel bad. It's People just drive through here like they don't care.
Witnesses say after the crash, the Cadillac driver hopped out of his car, ran, and apparently tried to get on a bus. The workers and several witnesses surrounded him until police got here.
All my guys are in shock and devastated. This isn't supposed to happen when you come to work.
Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
And the driver of the Cadillac is now out of the hospital and in police custody. The owner of the resale shop says earlier this year, another driver slammed into his business and left the scene. Police are still investigating today's crash. Today, police confiscated a gun from an East Alton Wood River High School student just as classes were about to start. A security officer at the school was told the student had a gun on school property. The officer confronted the student and took the weapon. No one was harmed or threatened, and the student was taken off campus. No other details have been released. A South St. Louis bar caught fire this afternoon while it was still open. It happened at Stella Blues on Morganford Road at around 1:30. Fire crews reported heavy smoke at the scene. The fire spread from the back of the building to the second floor, which is residential. The brick building suffered major damage, but no one was hurt. A warning: if you are parking downtown anytime soon, beware of crooks looking to take your money. Cardinals fans leaving yesterday's home opener returned to find parking tickets on their cars, even though they thought they paid to park. 5 on your side's Brent Solomon explains.
It's one of the most exciting days of spring in St. Louis.
It was our first time coming to opening day. And my whole family came, my 4 children, my grandchildren, my husband and I.
Julie Quiava traveled from Mount Vernon, Illinois.
We were having a hard time finding parking. We happened across this lot where there were like 3 guys in vests.
It was a grassy lot here on Broadway, about a 10-minute walk to Busch Stadium.
My son was like, we've been driving around for 30 minutes trying to find parking. We can't find any. So we parked there along with probably about 100 other cars. They were rolling in.
They went to the game and had a blast. Afterwards, they returned to a big shock.
Every single car in that lot had a ticket.
The family was slapped with a $30 fine now due to the city after already handing over $40 to what now appears to be a fake parking lot attendant that was right here.
There were guys in vests taking money.
A city spokesperson shared this with 5 on your side. All our staff are identified in uniform, and their vests state City of St. Louis Parking Division on the back of their vests. If someone is in an ununiformed vest, this is a fraudulent and unauthorized attempt to collect your money. City leaders say grassy lots like these are not meant for parking. They encourage drivers to use city-owned lots and parking garages. There are also private lots, but you have to make sure they're legit.
Knowing what that means to people in the city and outside of the city to come to opening day at a Cardinals game, and then to have 100 cars in the lot where we were parked alone get parking tickets is just crazy.
Brent Solomon, 5 on your side.
And while the city says the parking tickets are justified, officials say they're investigating the incident since there is no permit on record for the location where those cars parked. A historic Iowa women's basketball team is playing against rival UConn to make it to the championship game. And one area player helped make their last match the most watched college basketball game in ESPN history. 5 on your side's Andy Kroll attended a watch party in Glen Carbon where the Edwardsville native needs no introduction.
They've been waiting for this game their whole lives.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime situation. I don't think I'll see this again in my coaching career.
Former Edwardsville High School coaches and teammates of 6th-year Iowa women's basketball captain Kate Martin, all with their eyes on Friday's game against UConn at Edley's Barbecue, averaging 12.3 million viewers in the Elite 8 March Madness game.
I am almost speechless when it comes to this whole thing. I text her and I call her family and I'm just like, do you guys know how big this is and how this is like little girls' dreams come true?
It's fun whenever we can be a part of this, and obviously having stars like Caitlin, that attracts more and more people, and it's fun to be in the position that we are and be role models.
Grateful for the cheers here in Glen Carbon. Making their way all the way to Cleveland was Kate Martin's parents as they go to cheer on their daughter battle UConn with one of her best friends and arguably the face of collegiate women's and men's basketball this year, Caitlin Clark.
I don't see all the dazzle that comes with this, I think, because I'm inside. Caitlin is just a down-to-earth, good person, so it's just another one of Kate's teammates who is every bit as hardworking as Kate.
Kate, back in 2017 at Edwardsville, hitting a quick three as she would eventually do in college to try and beat UConn.
All these girls that are in the Final Four, growing up, UConn was the team they grew up dreaming about playing on. This is a big game. You either wanted to be on the team, recruited by them. If they didn't, you were upset, right? So this is a big game. There will be chips on these girls' shoulders.
Reporting in Glen Carbon, Annie Crawl, 5 on your side.
In an exciting turn of events, Iowa just pulled ahead of UConn. The score in the fourth quarter, Iowa 60, UConn 57. SLU's women's basketball team will be fighting for the WNIT crown tomorrow against Minnesota. Tip-off for the Billikens, 2 p.m.